because there were two choices, either the Italian unification or the German unification. Now, which would it be? I'm not going to do both, one. And I chose the German unification and not the Italian one. So if they asked the Italian one, I would have had naught. But fortunately, they asked the other one that I had studied. So that was why I was lucky. But you don't pass your exams by being lucky. You've got to swat in the correct way to pass it. So it's got to be part of you then. And that's why I was against the system.
So did you guys have like home educated things like sewing and cooking?
Yes. We actually at our school had a very special, I can say it was across the road, where they taught us how to take care of babies. Look after babies, how to treat babies. You know, it was like preparing you for your future life. They called it in Afrikaans huishoudkunde, all to do with household. We were taught how to clean a chicken. What do you call it, chicken? Hoenderhok. What is it in English?
Chicken cage.
Hmm?
Chicken cage.
Well, it's not a cage, it's something else. Not a den, a chicken something.
Coop.
Coop, yeah, say it, a chicken coop. We had to clean it out. There was a period for that to learn how to do things practically that you might need in your life later on. That was very interesting.
So you liked those classes?
Yeah, that was very interesting. It was sort of a widening of your interests to see more things that you can do.
So were you in an all-girls school your whole life?
Yes. I started there in the grades and I finished and I was chosen the head girl of the school. But because I was a day scholar, they said I cannot serve properly as a day scholar. I must be in the hostel. So they choose the second best one to be the head girl, and I became the vice head. Because you had to be in the hostel for that.
And athletics, what did you
Yes,
do?
I loved my athletics. I became very good with high jumps, like Benita's doing high jumps now. And then they chose me to go and participate into schools. All schools, best people go and participate in another sports event. And then, of course, I didn't pass there because they were very much better than me. But I mean, the fact is that they had chosen me to go and participate there was enough for me. I swam, but I couldn't swim very fast because I taught myself to swim and I didn't kick the proper way. I didn't kick this way, I kicked this way. And I still do it that way. It's just a habit I can't lose. And in this way, I can't get any further. I don't know how to do it. So, but swimming, I had a lot of energy and I could swim many lengths. And so that, you know, I can last and last and last and sing the, what do you call it? The Suez Channel or whatever channel, I can swim through it. I won't sink.
So what things do you like better today than...
Oh, and tennis. We loved playing tennis. We played tennis and I was the second best at school in tennis. There was one girl who beat me. But my sister, both my sisters also played tennis very well. And of course my younger sister was the springbuck, that means the best in the country in hockey. We were all very athletic and full of energy there. And then also my father and mother used to play tennis very well too. These cups here, they're all from them, tennis cups.
Really?
Mm.
From your parents?
Yeah, you'll see that they've got tennis rackets on them. Some of them, on that side, you'll see.
And what things do you like better today or don't like better today comparing to when you were younger?
That's a difficult question. What do I like better?
Or don't like?
Well, I worked towards my retirement, and I like my retirement extremely. That's what I like better. Not having to get up, having to do this, having to do that all the time of your life. Now I can decide whether I want to get up or not, but I usually get up. And what I want to do, it's my choice. I feel free. Freedom is very nice.
What about technology?
Oh dear. Now you're asking me something that is a great question mark in my life. What's technology? It started when we were just too old to learn about how to press these little buttons. We get confused. And another thing is, we don't feel like it. And also, if you do have to learn it, you've got to repeat it so many times before it sinks in. And there's nobody to have the will to want to teach an old person, so that we don't really learn about it.
And was there any traditions your family did when you were younger, or just things that was routine?
It's interesting, our family didn't know the gospel. My father smoked, my mother also, and they both drank. You know, just dots. But we had a family tradition that on Friday nights we will go out together as a family. Very similar to on Monday nights we get together as a family in the church. There was one little thing that we did as a family. We wanted to be together on a Friday night.
And what did you guys usually do?
Go to see a film.
And how did those go back then?
We had one cinema in the whole of Bloemfontein. One. And if you go and see the film and somebody laughs, you say, oh, that's so-and-so laughing there. You knew everybody in this cinema. Because the town was small. But that was fun. And of course, my father was he was brought up as a farmer. He became a doctor. He had his practice, but he longed to be a farmer as well. That was in him. So he would buy a farm close to town, and every night after he closed his office doors, his consulting rooms, he would go out to the farm until 8 o'clock at night and farm proper. He farmed with cows, he had a milk farming. He farmed with horses, with race horses, with percherons. They are show horses. They pull the carts, you know, they're very strong horses. He farmed with vegetables. He just tried everything in farming. That was just his way of breaking loose and doing what he wants to do. He loved that. And so, of course, my youngest sister, she grew up half on the farm with him. She loved the farm, and she eventually inherited the farmhouse, and she stayed there on the farm afterwards. And that was about 10 miles from town. You know, always a little farm close to town.
And how much were the cinemas cheap?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Yeah. I remember 15 cents to see a cinema.
Was that expensive comparing to back then, or?
To us it was expensive because our pocket money per week was 5 cents. So we had to save 3 weeks before we could go and see a film. 5, 10, 15 years, see? So we couldn't see a cinema every week. We had to save up to see it.
And what did you guys usually do the other weeks on Fridays if you weren't out in movies?
Apart from dancing and playing tennis, we had a tennis court in our yard. We tended to it, you know, with what do you call this thing that you roll the tennis court to a solid piece of ground, and then you mark it, and then you start playing tennis there. It was hard work, but we loved playing tennis at home. We had friends visiting us, entertained them. We had an old radio, gramophone. You've got to wind it up, but we had many records, and we played records on Sundays, and boys came and listened to our records. We enjoyed the music.
Well, thank you.
That was a great pleasure, my lovey. Now give me a huggy. So it was different to what you have, eh?
Yeah, we don't walk to school.
Yeah, and we never had TVs. So we had to do, this is another thing. We had to make our own entertainment often. And that was initiative from inside. You have to do something. You don't just be being entertained. You've got to entertain. My sister played the piano and I sang. And if people came to visit, we always had to perform to the guests. And one day, a group of us with our neighbours' children decided we're going to make up a little concert. And then we're going to charge. And the little concerts income will go towards something. So the nurse who worked with my father said, yes, give it to the nursing services. They needed it. And the little money we collected for the concert, we gave to the nurses for something. Can't remember for what. And we came into the newspapers for that. But we had to see that we have our own entertainment. We weren't entertained like we do today.
Wow.
Yeah, that was fun, eh?
Well, thank you.
Pleasure.
Here, I'm just go. Let's turn this off. I think you just close it. Yeah.